YouTube, Droid Freak here, and today I have another tutorial for you. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a cave spider XP farm that is completely safe. That is, the spiders cannot hit you, and is also as efficient as it is possible to be, basically. So it will spawn as many spiders as it is possible for an XP farm to spawn, with the exception of this block above the spawner, which I'm going to block off because if a spider spawns there, they're not going to actually fall down. So to begin, well, obviously you're probably going to have to be digging out most of this rather than building it, because you won't just find a spawner floating in the air. But for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to build it with a spawner floating in the air so that you can see everything more easily. First thing you want to do is block off the block directly above the spawner so that no cave spiders spawn up there and get stuck. Next, you want to build the roof, which will be one block above that, and will go out 4 blocks in every direction. Technically, it only needs to be 3 blocks in 2 of the directions, but figuring out which directions those are is pretty difficult, so I'm just going to build out 4 blocks in every direction. If you want to figure out which directions you only have to build out 3 in, then you can go look that up on the wiki, but honestly I would just do it in all directions with 4. So what this means for you if you're digging it out is that you'll dig out a room that is this wide, basically 9 wide in each direction, 4 blocks out from the spawner in every direction. You want to dig it out to this height above the spawner, which is not that tall. In fact, this is shorter than it will be if you find it in a mineshaft. Like, if you find this in a mineshaft, the floor would be at this level, and the roof would be 1 level above this. So you don't need to dig it out any higher than it already is. You can actually fill in part of the roof of the mineshaft if you want, because cave spiders are pretty short. They don't require much space above the spawner. So here we go, I've finished my roof. Next thing you want to do is build down, or in your case, if you're digging it out, dig down. So you want to go to the level of the spawner and 4 blocks below that. So you want to fill in everything within this region. And I'm going to time-lapse this because you probably don't want to watch me build this whole thing. And here we go. Okay guys, I've finished building that. And just so you know guys, the reason for this dimension, well, first of all, the reason for the dimension of only 1 block up there is because cave spiders can spawn anywhere within this region, 3 blocks tall. So anywhere within this region they can spawn, including this block, 1 block above the spawner, but not any higher than that. So that's where the cave spiders spawn. But another important dimension is this dimension of 9 blocks tall, that is 4 blocks above and below the spawner. So that goes up beyond the ceiling, but it also goes down to there. That is where monsters need to be to stop the spawner from spawning. So say there was a floor here, and a bunch of cave spiders stood on this floor. Then the spawner would stop spawning because it detects all the cave spiders within this region. But we don't want that to happen, so this basically is the level that the cave spiders will be stuck below. So what we're going to do is we're going to put fences down here. When the cave spiders climb up the fences, they'll get caught under this overhang and won't be able to get into that region, because we want to keep that region completely clear to make sure that cave spiders can spawn like forever without the spawner being stopped by there being spiders within this region. So we want to keep this region completely clear of spiders, and we want to keep it clear of blocks so that the spiders can spawn everywhere and fall straight down into the lower region. Now this lower region, I'm going to make it 3 blocks deep. I haven't actually done research to see if it's possible to do this with 2 blocks deep. I don't know if spiders can jump high enough to get onto the wall from there. So I'm going to keep this being 3 blocks deep. So underneath that solid block region, I'm going to make a bunch of fences, like so, going 3 blocks down from that. Now obviously we'd have to dig another 3 blocks down and 1 block out to make these fences in survival. And, well, not necessarily in survival, but in a legit spawner situation where your spawner isn't just floating in the air. So basically dig 3 blocks down, 1 block out, and fill in the outer block with fences, which I'm going to time lapse. Here we go. Worth noting that iron bars and glass panes would probably work just the same in this situation, but I like fences because I think that they're probably the cheapest, because they just require a bit of wood, and you can get more than 1 fence from each raw wood block, I do believe. So that's a nice cheap way to do it. If you want it to look really nice, you could use iron bars, obviously. And also note that these corner pieces are definitely required because cave spiders can go through corners. Next, what you want to do, which would already be done in survival, is to just fill in this floor here. Because obviously, if you're building this with an actual underground spawner, this would already be here because you dug down. Unless, of course, there's like a cave down there or something. But in any case, you want this to be your floor. You don't want any holes in that, because this is where the spiders are going to sit. Well, actually, they'll spend a lot of time up on the edge of those fences, but this is the lowest layer they will be able to sit on. And this is where all the drops in experience will fall. So you want to fill that in like so. And now this will require a bit more digging in survival. What you actually want to do is to dig a trench around the outside of this for people to be inside. So sort of 1x2 trench like this. You probably want to light this up somehow in survival. I actually built this design in ultra hardcore with 2 cave spider spawners that were close to each other. And I definitely did light up this in ultra hardcore because I didn't want any creepers or zombies or skeletons spawning in this trench. But basically you want to build this trench out, and obviously if you're building this underground, this would also be walled off. You want to wall it off if you're building it in the air for some strange reason. I don't know why you'd build this in the air unless you're me. But anyways, you want to wall all that off, dig this trench, and then you'll basically be done with this farm, because if I game mode S myself, like so, all these guys are within striking range even if they're up at the top of those fences. So this is a perfectly efficient cave spider XP farm. sit down here and punch them all. Obviously, you'd probably want to use a sword to make this process go faster. When I use the one that I built in the ultra hardcore world, I use iron swords because we have lots of iron. But yeah, this is basically what it is. You build this trench all the way around, light it up somehow, and then you build the exit. If I can quit game mode, see myself. The exit, you just want to go a few blocks away from the spawner before you start going up. So you go a few blocks out, like so, then you should be safe to start going up, like this. Because cave spiders can actually hit you through weird gaps like this, if you're not careful. If you're standing below them like this, then they definitely can't hit you. But if you like jump up here, for instance, they can totally hit you. I'm pretty sure. Let's test that out quick. Game mode S, jump up. Nope, I guess they can't hit you right here. Many farm designs that I've tried though, they definitely can. And I just died. Well, there's my thing. Good thing I semi-spawn in this area. So yeah, this is basically how it works. Well, once you've done the stuff that I've shown, basically you dig this trench around, and you want to build it all the way around so that you can gather experience from basically wherever it is on that platform. One thing to note about this design is you will lose some of the drops, but if you're using this as an XP farm, you really don't need that many drops. You don't need that much string and spider eyes, because you will get a lot. So I hope you guys enjoyed this 100% super simple, super efficient cave spider XP farm, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.